Okay, we are live. Good morning, dear students. Good morning, Angelica Medina. Welcome to this first session. Okay, first, I am doing this session in English because the academic direction asked to the facilitators to make the sessions in English. However, if you need something in Spanish, please tell me. The docs and the comments, I can do it in Spanish. It's important that you try to learn in English. I am trying to use a very basic level of English, and I am talking a little bit slowly understand better. Idea is that you practice as much as you can English. I mean, listening, I mean, writing, reading, etc., in order to get a better knowledge of this language. Welcome, Ignacio. Good day also to you. So we have Angelica and Ignacio connected. We are going to start the session. See, okay. We are going to start the session, and remember, if you need something in Spanish, please ask me. And also, don't wait until final to make and your suggestions or comments. If you have any doubt, any comment, any suggestion, please make it now. Si tienen cualquier duda, cualquier comentario, no esperen hasta el final, háganlo ahora. So, I'm going to start sharing my screen and to start the presentation or the slides that I make for you. First, as you know, we are in the module 7, My Life in Other Language. During this week, we are going to see the unit number 1 and the unit number 2. You know me already. I am the facilitator Dora Luz Gomez Utrera. I am here with you in this module. I am going to be your facilitator. And if you need anything for the module about academic, about doubts, etc., you can ask me all you need. What we are going to see in this agenda? Well, first I introduce myself like I did just some minutes before. I'm going to talk to you about general instructions for this module. Also, the evaluation. I want to check with you the evaluation of this module. The training purpose and expected learning. The integrative activities, I mean some general instructions, and selected topics that I want to review with you that are very important that you check during this module and even during this week. And finally, I want to suggest you that you work on your formative activities. So, first, general instructions. We are going to use the learning forum for doubts. Also, we have to practice in this forum with the questions that help us to practice our writing. But besides, we have to use it for doubts. So if you have any doubt, please use the learning forum. Maybe other classmates have the same doubt, so it helps to answer the doubts at the same time for all of you. Check frequently the notice section. We use this section, the tutor and me, for giving you some important information about the synchronous sessions, about orientation, etc. So always check the notice section. We are going to make one synchronous session by week. I send you a kind of survey in order to know your time, to try to make the session during the time that you have more time. However, just few of you answered the survey, so I'm going to check it, and the next week I am going to do the session in order to use the time that you put in this survey. What else? Okay, you can correct only during the week of the activity. Consider the evaluation time. What is this? When can you correct? If you send the Monday your activity, for example, the Monday 9 a.m., if you consider the evaluation time, maybe you are going to receive your evaluation until Thursday 9 a.m. If you send it the Tuesday, you are going to receive the Friday. But check this. If you send your evaluation until Wednesday, maybe you are going um, to receive your evaluation until Monday of the next week. Why is this? Weekends are not contabilized between the evaluation time. So you must consider the evaluation time, 72 hours for maximum for evaluation time. Of course, I don't take all of this time, but sometimes I receive so much activities that I have not enough time, and maybe I am going to use, 60 hours or 70 hours. Not even the 72 hours, pero almost. So if you want to correct your activities, make your delivers until Tuesday. So this is the only way that you are sure that you are going to have time to correct your activity. Why? Well, because you are going to receive your evaluation maximum until Friday. And about the extensions, I want to tell you now that we are starting, you can ask for an extension until 72 hours after the closing of the activity, just in case of health problems or personal situations considered by the tutor. So, for activities of week 1, you have until Wednesday of week number 2 to ask an extension. Why Wednesday? Well, because it is the 72 hours. And it's exactly the same for week 3 and week 4. So the only week that we don't have extensions is for activities of week 4. But for week 1, 2, or 3, you can ask extensions until 72 hours after the closing of the activity. Okay, let me check if you have any doubt until here. Okay. Hi, Eli Murillo. Welcome to this module, this first session. So, also welcome Maria Tomasa Hernandez. Just to repeat, remember that if you need something in Spanish because you don't understand, you can ask me. If you have any doubt, any comment, don't wait until the final. Put your comments or your doubts in the chat now. Si tienen cualquier duda, cualquier comentario, no esperen hasta el final. Pónganlas en el chat ahora o en cuanto las tengan. I am trying to speak very slow so you can understand better. What else? Okay, so we check the general instructions for this module. The other thing is the evaluation. Even you have already 5 modules before, 6 modules, I want to check with you the evaluation. Remember that we have 6 integrative activities. Each one of these activities equals 7% of your final scores. So it is like 42% of your final score of all integrative activities. On week 4, we also have the integrative project that it equals 30% of your final score, the integration forum with 8%, the the self-station with 5%, and also the socio-emotional activities. One of these socio-emotional activities you have to work on during the week 1 and week 2 with 5% each one. And also, you need to review and to check all the resources to make all the exercise, because the platform in an automatic way, check that you are checking all these resources, and it equals to 5% of your final score. So remember, during week 2, you are not going to have access to resources or to the exercise of week 1. So you need to make your exercise of week 1 during week 1. You are not going to access during week 2 or 3. So please make sure that you review, that you check, and that you make all the resources and the exercise and the practice of each week in order to get this 5% of a platform. Also, what about the training purpose of this module? Here is the main purpose, that you get or you achieve a basic level of English that is A2 or B1. Check. During module 6, the goal was that you get the A1 level. Here is the A1 level. And now, for this module number 7, you maybe will use the level A2 or B1. So these are the levels that you need to develop during this module. And for this, during this first week, we are using, or we are checking the unit number 1, what are you doing, and the unit number 2, where were you learning. What about these units? So these units have the purpose that you are going to share and to ask information in an oral or a writing way about events, about different events that are happening in the moment or that happened in a past moment, but with past continuous. So you are going to use the present continuous and the past continuous. And for this, you are going to make the 2 activities of this week, the 2 integrative activities. The number 1, dancing in the morning, and the number 2, meanwhile. The first one, dancing at the morning, is very interesting because you are going to check a very famous painting of Pierre-Auguste Renoir, a very famous painter, French painter. And you are going to check this picture that you are going to get in the format that you need to download in the platform. In the instructions of the activity, you are going to find the format for this activity, and you need to answer some questions about this picture. Watch that you have some letters here: A, B, C, D, and E. This is because you need it to answer the questions. For example, the first one is, what is happening in the picture? What is happening in the picture? What is the woman and the man doing? What woman and what man? Well, this woman and that man. What are they wearing? Also about them. What is the man with the hat next to the tree doing? This man with the hat. What are the girl and the woman doing? The girl, this is the girl, and the woman doing. And what do you think they are talking about? What do you think they are talking about? And what are the two men at the table doing? These two men. So, at the table. Finally, you are going to write two questions that you will ask the characters, and also you are going to record a voice message. So, I am going to give you some examples. So I use another picture of the same painter in order to don't give you the answers of the activity. And this is another famous picture of the same painter. And this is called, resting in the middle, something like that. And for example, I put the first question that you have to answer here. What is happening in the morning? In the picture, sorry. What is happening in the picture? Remember, if they are asking in present continuous, you answer in present continuous. So for this activity, you need to use the present continuous. First, you need to put the subject, the verb to be, the verb with ing, and the complement. For example, they are watching the lake. They are watching the lake. For example, it's a kind of answer, Another way to answer. The child is resting with her friend. The child is resting with her friend. Can you see the example? What about the audio? Okay, well, let me check with you about this present continuous. I have a slide exactly about present continuous. And I sent you this extra resource in the orientation of the week. I put the orientation in the notice section and also in the learning forum. So please check this additional resource because it's a kind of resume of the topic. What about present continuous? For the affirmative way, you need to put the subject, the verb to be, and the ing verb. For example, I am running. Remember that for the verb to be, you can use are, is, or am. Are, is, am, according to the subject. So are is for you, we, or they. Am is just for I, and is for he, she, or it. For the negative form, you just need to add the word not in order to deny the activity. You aren't running. You can use the contracted form like this or the complete are not, aren't, or are not. is not, or isn't. And for the interrogative way, you just put first the verb to be, followed by the subject, the ing verb, and the question mark. Is she running? And the question mark. Also remember the use of am, are, or is according to the subject. So, this is about the present continuous. And you are going to tell me, okay, but what about the ing of the verb? How to make the ing form? It's not always the same. Look at this. If the verb is ending in consonant, more vowel and consonant, but the final syllable is stressed, we need to double the consonant and we need to add ing. For example, run, running. Check this. We are doubling the consonant. Running, double N. Hug, hugging, double G. Prefer, preferring, double R. Listen, listening. So what happened here? We don't double the N. Why? Because it's just, we double the consonant, just is the, if the, check this, here is, just if the final syllable is stressed. I'm going to talk this in Spanish in order to be more clear. Van a duplicar la consonante solo en caso de que la sílaba final sea la que está acentuada. Recuerden, en inglés no tenemos acentos, pero sí acentuamos las palabras con la entonación. Entonces, por ejemplo, run es la única sílaba que tiene y por lo tanto la última está acentuada. Duplicamos la N. Hug, hugging, es el mismo caso que run. Prefer, preferring. Pero ¿qué pasa con listening? Como aquí pueden ver. Listening, el acento va en la primer sílaba. Listen, listening. Entonces no duplicamos la N. Únicamente lo que hacemos es agregar la terminación ing. ¿Ok? Okay. The other rule. If the verb ends in E, we leave out the E and we add ing. For example, dance, dancing. Check that we leave the E and we just add ing. Make, also the E is out and we add ing. Making. Take, taking. Be, being. This is an exception. Be is the only case because we maintain or we keep the E and we add ing. Another rule is that we need to ing if the verb ends in double X or J. Enjoy, enjoying, know, knowing, or fix, fixing. And if the verb ends in IE, we eliminate or we leave out the IE and we add JING, die, dying, lie, lying, die, tying. Okay, these are some rules. In the most of case, we just add ing, but as you know, as we check with these rules, there are some exceptions. So I am talking to you about exceptions. And this is about the present continuous. So until here, what else about the activity number? Here. What about the audio? Remember that you have to record an audio where you describe what happens in the painting and you the activity, even in the format, recommends you to start with this. Hi, guess what? I am watching a fantastic painted, name it, resting in the middle. There are two children, and in the picture, I can see a nice middle with a kind of lake in the center. One child is wearing a large pink dress with a hat that has some colorful flower in the front. The other kid is wearing a white dress with a white hat. Both of them have a large hair. They are lying on the middle watching to the lake. And I am describing, what I am seeing in this picture. So it's a kind of, you don't have in your audio, you don't are going to record just the answer to the questions. You need to write another kind of description where you describe all what is happening in the picture, but without reading the questions. You are going to describe in a general way what is happening in the picture, and maybe you can use the information that you use it to answer the questions. I like this example. Now, if you have any doubt about this activity, let me see if you have any doubt now. Okay, thank you. Excellent explanation. I am very bad in English. I am having a hard time learning. Okay, that you are telling me that I am speaking slowly, so it's easier to you understand me. So I know it is better that the person or the teacher speaks to you slowly so you can understand a little bit better. Okay. So if I don't see any doubt about the activity, so I am going to continue with the integrative activity number 2. Number 2 is called meanwhile. And for this activity, you have to make an exercise of imagination where is a theft in your neighborhood, and the policies like searching the theft and looking for information that help them to resolve the case. So in this way you have to answer three questions the activity, about the theft, about what was or what were you doing during the theft, and also write three questions that you will ask your neighbor. And finally, you have to record a voice message. The first question is, what were you doing when the thief was stealing your neighbors? Mention three consecutive activities, and it's very important for this part that you use the first, after, then, etc. The second question, what were you doing from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. today? Mention three consecutive activities. And finally, who do you live with? What were you doing before, during, and after the theft? Mention three persons and two activities of each one. And look at this example. Keep this image, but doesn't have the same image. And let me see, what is this? Here we are. Look at the example for this activity. The first question is, what were you doing when the thieves were stealing your neighbor's house? Write three using the adverb of time first, then, and that. Look at this. For this activity, you need to use past continuous because the question is in past continuous. What were you doing? Were past continuous? So, to answer in past continuous, you subject, the verb to be, the verb with ing, and the complement. Look at the example. I was exercise, and it is all time structure of present continuous. What is the change? The time or the conjugation of verb to be, because it is in past time. Was or were. Was for I, he, she, it subjects, and were for you and we. I was doing exercise. No, this is just an example. But what you have to answer? Look at this. First, I was doing exercise. After, I was doing the synchronization of prepa en línea. And then I was grading the activities of my students. This is a kind of answer that I make you by example. Why? Because here I am in past continuous structure, but also the adverbs of time that you need to use. And I put them in red. First, after, and then. This is the way that you the answers. You doesn't just the activities. You have to, you need to relate the you are going to describe. So first exercise, after I was doing the synchronizations, and then I was grading the activities of my students. Primero estaba haciendo ejercicio, después estaba realizando la sesión síncrona y después o más tarde estaba calificando las actividades de mis estudiantes. Es muy importante que no enumeren solamente las actividades, relacionen. Relate the activities with the use of adverbs of time, ¿sale? Entonces relacionen las actividades que van a poner con los adverbios. It is this activity to make this. And well, for this activity, the audio that you need to record is just the answer to the questions. So it doesn't have so much problem. And what about the past continuous? As exactly the same structure that the present continuous, just that the verb to be is in past. Was. Remember, was is for I, he, she, and it, and were for you, we, and they. And for the negative form is exactly also. You went wrong, and you need to use or the complete form or the contracted form. Were not or weren't, was not or wasn't. And what about the interrogative form? You need to put first the verb to be, followed by the subject, the ing form, and the question mark. And the ing form is exactly see before. Okay, so for the questions that are asked to you to make, you need to first the verb to be, followed by the subject, the ing form, and the question mark. And I think that it's all about the integrative activities. I don't know if you have any doubt until this moment. Hi, Adriana. Welcome to this first session. I don't see any comment. So I am going to continue talking about the formative activities. Please remember, if you have any doubt, put it now because don't have enough time at the final of. Por favor, si tienen cualquier duda, pónganla ahora en el chat porque generalmente no tenemos mucho tiempo al final de la sesión. Entonces, váyanlas poniendo ahora. What about the activity? We have two formative activities. The first is what are they doing, where you are going to check the present continuous tense. So please work on this activity because it will help you to understand the topic. And the other one is what were you doing when? And as you can notice, it is about past continuous. So these two formative activities are going to help you to check the present continuous tense and the past continuous tense. So I suggest you activities. It is very important. About the learning forum, as I told you before, you need to use this space for doubts or comments about the academic results, about your activities, but also we are using practice. What we are talking about to practice? We are talking about what are you doing before prepa en línea? What are you doing to improve your English, and what are you doing to improve your it's some questions about you that where you need to use the past continuous here, the past continuous, and the present continuous here. So it's I think that there are a lot of participation, and I am very happy with you because of that. But please, if you don't have used this space, please put your participation because it will help you to practice. Remember, use the spaces to practice. This is just to practice. It doesn't it doesn't have any grade, this forum, but it's just to practice. Some comments where I am going to correct some mistakes that you have. It's very important that you enter to this forum in order to see all of these kind of corrections. And okay, so I am done with this first session. I think that it is because this is about past continuous. I am done with the session. So if you have any doubt, please put it now, because I'm going to close the session. Entonces, hemos acabado la sesión síncrona. Si tienen alguna duda, es momento de hacerlo, porque de otra manera, pues cerrada la sesión síncrona. So, I am not going to tell you goodbye. No les voy a decir adiós, because we are going to in the messenger or nos mantendremos en contacto en el messenger de plataforma, en el mensajero de plataforma, también en el foro. But I need you put, if you have any comment, any suggestion, any doubt, now is the time to put your comments, your suggestion. And if you don't have. Well, I am going to close this first session, this first synchronous session. So I know that it is, or maybe it is a kind or quite difficult for you, this model. I know that some of you don't have so much experience with the, however, remember that it's a kind of let me see, a kind of challenge for you. And I am pretty sure that you can do it, and you can. Okay, Mari Carmen is telling you, thank you very much. I understand. So, okay, I am going to this first session. So I hope your assistance session, that maybe I am going to make it until Tuesday, maybe Monday, depends. But well, I see you later in platform, and thank you for being here this day, and see you later, guys. Bye.